I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, April the 27th, and your April to June live cattle contract. The gap between those two grows even wider late in the week here. Wednesday it set an all-time record, and then Thursday during the session acted like that was no big deal and just tacked a couple of more dollars on. June live cattle futures were down $1.22, so they just keep getting cheaper all the way down to $104.35. And April was up another 60 cents at $122.52. That is a spread of $18.17 between the first two traded commodity futures months there on your live cattle contract, and that's just astronomical. It's hard to believe that we're going to lose that much ground in just a month or so, but you know, we keep talking about this droves of cattle coming there. I guess we'll find out. May feeder cattle down $1.05 at $140.30, but April, with all these good sales going on around here, up 32 cents to end the day at $140.17. We really haven't seen any fat cattle trade this week, and it'll be interesting to see if we do. It doesn't seem like anybody's in a hurry to trade any. I'm sure that they're taking delivery of a lot of cattle that they bought just 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's hard to say how many cattle they actually need. Through Wednesday, only 8,300 head of cattle sold, and most of those in Iowa. Your weighted average on a live spread, steer spread, from 115 to 122, sitting at 119.25, which would be quite a bit lower than last week, but we haven't had anything to establish the market. The only thing of any significance to talk about was the 121 that sold in Kansas, and that was for May delivery. Your dress steers with a spread of 189 to 195. Weighted average on those is 194.15, which is not a whole lot lower, but I don't know. I'm sure we'll trade some cattle sometime on Friday here. It'll be interesting to see where they trade. I couldn't understand how they'd be any lower. I assume it'll be 121, 122, and a little bit better than that in the northern plains. But we'll see what happens. But it makes you wonder when we get into May and they've got all those cattle that they've got to take delivery on that they've been buying the last few weeks. And then they know they've got formulated cattle and everything coming. Who's to say they'll trade any cattle? And if they don't trade any cattle in a week's time, what are all those formula cattle going to be priced upon? But we may find that out. But I would say we'll hold at least steady this week, and they'll trade some cattle sometime Friday. Box beef cutout values are higher late in the week, and they are really showed that they bottomed last week, because they've made big gains this week on heavy offerings, which is unusual to see higher prices with big supplies. But choice cutouts 220.15, that's up $1.62 at the end of the afternoon trade on Thursday. Selects at 204.48, up $1.33. Your slaughter's been real aggressive this week, 474,000 through Thursday, 4,000 more than last week, 5,000 more than the same week a year ago. Your actual dress steer weights continue to come down a little bit. Week ending April 14th information come out with dress steers averaging 867 pounds. Your feeder cattle, or actually let's talk about some cold storage reports that come out earlier in the week there. Showed that your pounds of beef in cold storage are down slightly from a year ago. Pork was up 12% from a year ago, and that does not bode very well. Pork makes a pretty good alternative to beef. You know, that's a bad thing, is it's pretty darn good, and it is cheap. And look, and what's happened to everybody's love about bacon? I thought we were slapping bacon on everything there is. Your pork belly supplies on cold storage are up 188% compared to the same time a year ago. Wow. Let's hope they put all those on bacon cheeseburgers. But that pork, you have to watch that. I tell you what, it's a pretty good alternative. And nothing like this fake meat we've got out there. But look at some your livestock production report there. In 2017, your meat production was up 4%. That's 4% for cattle and 3% for hogs, come out to be 4% total. And your 2017 cash receipts on livestock production up 7%, 76% of that due to cattle and 24% of it due to hogs on the increase. But let's look at some feeder cattle prices. Your real-time index at the end of the day on Thursday, based and from your Beef Market Central automated RTI, based on the 7 to 899 pound steers up through the 12 state region, 138.76, down just 10 cents, basically the same. Hasn't really moved, and moved a lot of cattle on Thursday. Look at some big sales that you couldn't get any early information out of anywhere but here on Cattle Market Central in this report. Pratt, Kansas, a big sale, posted 6,000, working towards 7,000 head there. Feeder cattle steady to $3 lower, except for your steers weighing over 9, and they were about $2 higher. Now look up north at Salina, Kansas, farmers and ranchers livestock, around 4,000 head there. Look on the automated report there, you see that those steers weighing under 800 pounds, $3 to $6 higher, and those weighing over 800 pounds, $1 to $3 lower. So kind of a contrast in markets there. But in Clarinda, Iowa, I had a heck of a sale, and I was getting some messages from Russell Sleep, good friend of mine there, and a heck of a good auctioneer. And I think it's probably just about time for Russell to win that World Champion Livestock Auctioneer contest. It's coming up here in early June. I'll be rooting for him, and I'm called Brian Curlis last year. I pegged him a week before the contest, so I'm hoping I get 2 in a row on that one. But big sale in Clarinda, Iowa, 3,400 head there, John Anderson, Frank Hepker's sale. Look at this bunch of 77 head, 650 pound black green steers, bring 176. You see there, you got the legendary Lanny Ireland selling behind the mic there, and he'd roll his best friend and make him like it. Look at another individual quote there on Pratt, Kansas, 75 head of 827 pound steers, bring 146.10. That's your feeder flash for Friday.